Hey everybody, we're live. Hey everyone, we're live today, and this is the Weekend Habit. And we are actually joined today by one of the people who have always supported our Twitter chats from the very beginning. And her name's Lisa Requiso. And I'm very happy to note that she's actually here in the Philippines right now. And we are going to be doing our Twitter chat today with a brand new format. So, just to kind of introduce it to our audience, to everybody who's listening right now, our Twitter chat is called hashtag Guro Chat. And this is happening every Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. And we use the hashtag Guro Chat, Guro meaning teacher in Philippines. Okay, so our new right now we are supposed to be joined by Teacher Forrest also, but he's not around. So Lisa, let me just get you onto the stream. Give me 1 second. There you go. Hi, Lisa.
Hey everyone, good
Hey.
morning. It's so nice to see everybody.
Good morning. I'm so happy to have you here because, to be honest, everybody who's joining us right now, we actually haven't met in person. We've
Yes,
always been
indeed.
hindi pa. We've just always been discussing on Twitter,
Yes,
which is actually a
exactly.
great right. It's always been a great place for us to discuss things. And so I'm really excited to be here with you, Lisa. I'm happy to meet you. So
Finally,
for
right?
people, di ba? So for everybody who's joining us, I can see that Riza is actually here also today. Wow,
Hey
Riza Picha is also here.
Riza.
Hi, Riza.
I cannot believe it.
I cannot believe it. We're
Hi!
doing
Finally! Lee, finally! We've met
Oh, I
online.
know. I
online,
know,
yeah,
right?
on a live stream
Yeah,
too. So everybody who's
I
here today,
know.
we are just going to be doing something called the Weekend Habit, hashtag Guru Chat. This is our Weekend Habit. Every 9:30 in the morning, we do this. We run through a 1 hour chat on Twitter. And this 1 hour chat, I'll just remove my glasses, nagre-reflect. This 1 hour chat is actually happening in Twitter, and then it's being joined by a lot more people there as well. But if you are not on Twitter at the moment and you're on Facebook, or you're watching right now on YouTube, thank you to the 6,000 watchers we have right now. You can just go ahead and put in your comments at the
Wow!
comment box down below, right? And then you also have a Q&A portion there right next to your YouTube video, or at the bottom of the page, depending on your streaming. So at the moment, let me just put in my okay. So I do have my introductions ready. So let me just introduce myself quickly. My name is Mary Manzano. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I like building businesses, and I'm also a tech coach and a Google trainer and innovator. So I'm here in Manila along with my co-moderators for today, uh, Lisa Requisos and Lisa Picho. So please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi
Yeah, Lisa.
everybody, good morning. My name is Lisa and I am teaching internationally. So right now we're on vacation. I'm in Manila. I was able to come home via a repatriation flight. Please don't ask me.
Yay.
But
Great.
good to be home though.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm so happy that you were able to come home. Are you kind of allowed to? Are you gonna be going back soon, or are you gonna be staying here for quite a while?
Well, it actually depends as we still don't. I mean, we haven't received any news yet. I know that something is in the works, but I think
Mhm.
what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure when everything is in place before they tell us if and when we come back.
Mhm.
But my flight is scheduled third week of August, so we don't
Okay.
know yet if that's gonna push through.
Okay. So things are still gonna be it
Up
still
in the
depends on
air,
what happen. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. Yeah, but
yeah.
where are you going? Because we never always never know where you are. So uh,
No, I'm now. I am now teaching in Dhaka, Bangladesh. So I used to
Okay.
teach in. So when I joined the what chat was this? Gino's chat. When I
Yeah,
joined that
EdChat
Ed
one,
PH.
chat.
Yeah.
yes,
EdChat PH.
EdChat
The Ed
PH.
chat.
So yes, when I joined EdChat PH, I was still teaching in Tbilisi, Georgia. And then
Um,
we left Tbilisi. It was in between. So I was like in between jobs. I just left
mhm.
Tbilisi at the time. And
Okay.
then we were applying for our job to Dhaka. So
Mhm.
now we're now based in Dhaka with the whole family.
All right, that's great. Okay,
Yes.
let's hear from Riza now. By the way, I have a message here from Laffy. Let me just push my here. I have a message from Laffy saying, "Hi everyone. Sorry I can't be with you this morning. Cry, cry." Okay, sorry, Laffy, but we really, really miss you, and we hope
Yes,
you can join
indeed.
us next time. Yeah, hi, Riza and Lisa. So let me go ahead with the introductions now. We are also joined today by Riza Picho. Go ahead, Riza.
Hi. I was surprised. I thought it's just going to be not live. that's that's fine. So what? We're on our third week of distance learning, and there's a lot
Woo!
of things to learn, relearn, and learn. So many challenges. I'm Risa, by the way. I'm teaching PSED or PE, fifth grade
Yeah.
this year. So it's
Wow.
so challenging to teach PE in distance learning with a
Yep.
class size of 30 plus. But um, what I'm thankful for is that my students are still eager to, move, even if they one student gave his feedback to me. P is like having a Zumba class in front of my MLD.
So
That's
do you feel
awesome.
like that
Oh
now? Because
well.
I do have a really great yoga trainer at the moment. She's amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and she's doing everything online. And she was recommended by a few friends, and I watched how she was teaching online, and it was really great. It felt like she was really there with you. And yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Everybody, for those people who don't know, Riza, you teach where?
Oh, I'm teaching in La Salsa Bell. So for like around a decade already. I'm old.
Wow.
Wow. Sabi ni Rafi, I
Holy
feel for you,
cow.
Riza. We ended our first week and it feels like October already.
Yes.
Oh,
As
poor
so
Laffy.
many realizations for this distance learning.
That's
It
true.
feels like you've been thrown in and you have
Yes.
to swim through it. So, well, lucky for those schools who they have to go to it last March,
Yeah.
so they get the hang of it already. So
Uh-huh.
us, it was at the end of the school year, so
Okay.
we ended up abruptly, and then like for a whole month of April, we didn't do anything school related because everyone was trying to cope with the pandemic. And then right now, so we started preparing around last week of May.
I
But
see.
I think any kind of preparation is still preparation, but nothing can really prepare you well. You still have to have,
When you're,
yes,
yeah.
you still have to have that mindset that even if everything is challenging, you have to just cope and get your tribe on, because your
Yeah.
tribe will really lift you up. So I was away from Twitter for like a year because
Yeah.
I have to cope
We
with
missed you so
classroom.
much.
I know. I have to cope with classroom because I went back to classroom teaching and I was handling 9 sections. So it's my class versus my PD. So I had to give up my PD, but I still do with school and seesaw and everything. But I wasn't active in Twitter because I feel like if I have to spread myself too thin,
That's
it's going to
true.
cost my
Yeah.
health. So
Yeah.
I had to give
That's
up.
the
And
best
then
way.
yes,
Yeah,
during
that's really the
summer,
best way
so
to do it. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I know. So during summer, we had enough time because you can't
Mm-hmm.
go out. So
Mhm.
no quarantine pass at all. So all you have to do is just study, 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 read
Yeah.
books, watch webinars,
Yeah.
a lot of
A lot
webinars,
of
but you have to
webinars.
pick the ones, yes, pick the
Yeah.
ones that speaks to your heart, that
Mhm.
goes with what you believe in, things like that. So
That's great.
that's what
Yeah.
happened for me.
So at least for us, during the vacation, it's really been very, very tiring for me because it's the busiest time for us because we've been training teachers all throughout. So I'm just gonna
Yes.
go back a little bit and just let everybody know that usually Twitter chat happens with a Q1A1 format. We have a question and then people would answer. But this time we're going to be judgy and we will be judging applications. We are playing something called Ship It or Rip It. This is actually a popular game that I play with that I actually see play for characters or when you're reading books and then you want to ship characters together. Shipping is putting characters together. Ripping means that you don't want them to be together. So it's like putting love teams together
Okay.
and then ripping them apart. So what we're gonna do instead, because we are ed tech peeps, right? We want to be able to ship or rip certain applications. Most of these can be shipped, but I'd like to know more about what actually doesn't work for you or what works for you and why it works. So, our first question is actually up already. Let me just see. I know that some of the people who are watching are probably
Padlet and Google
wondering if
Sites.
you're on Twitter. Paano kaya nila natitweet yun, no? And then doing the live stream at the same time. So, our secret weapon is tweet
Split
deck.
screen.
I
Deck.
I tweet
Retweet, yes.
yeah, I tweet like a lot. Like I schedule my tweets. I make sure that my tweets are already there, even from the start of you know, the live stream. So our Q1, the first pair that we're going to ship or rip is Padlet and Google Sites. I think this is a ship it for me. So I'm just gonna answer. This
And
Me
is a ship
too.
it for me. I don't
why,
know if you
how
use it
you,
though.
how would you use it though? Like, how would you put it in Google Sites?
So you can actually embed it on Google Sites.
Yes.
So there is a way
Link
to
it.
embed it. The nice thing about it is that before, Padlet was actually embeddable in the old Google Sites. And then as it went along, when Google Sites was changed into the brand new Google Sites, there was really no embed function yet. And then they finally added it. And when they added it, you can now embed a Padlet inside Google Sites. For those of you who are watching or who are listening right now, Padlet is like a whiteboard tool, so you can collaborate in
Yes.
Padlet together. So when you create in Padlet, you can publish it either a public or a secret Padlet. Just click the share button and then click on the share export embed. And then you have to copy the embed code. And that's what you need to embed inside your Google Sites. So how do I use it? I use it usually as a parking lot. Like if I have if you have a question I can't answer, put it there. So I just put the word parking lot. So this is our
Yeah.
parking lot. Any question I can't answer, put it there in the parking lot. Let's park it first, or maybe it's too soon. Hold your horses, right? So
Yes.
put
Right.
it there
Right.
first. Just park it first, and then we can take care of it later. Or you can use it for collaborative whiteboarding, similar to Jamboard, I suppose. What do you think? Is it a ship for you or a rib?
It's a
I'm
ship
gonna
for me. Ship it.
ship it. Let's ship it. I'm
Yes.
looking at people here. Oh, Yuan is actually here. Riza said ship
Yes.
it. Definitely ship it. I agree. Uh, I saw here, Lisa, that you answered the question on spending the vacation at home. Unfortunately, you're in the Philippines, but you can't go to the beach.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
No summer this no summer this school year. It's so sad.
Yeah, we have a
I
question though
know.
from the audience.
Are you a CISO
Yeah,
for school in
Daniel,
Sobel?
are you a teacher for
Someone,
school?
Sir
Yeah.
Daniel is asking Miss Mary. Yes,
Yeah.
we are CISO for school in Sobel, and if you need any help about CISO, you can approach me. I'm a CISO
Oh, okay.
ambassador. I can
Both of
help you
you.
go through it, or you can
Yes.
also ask Lisa. We're both
Yes.
experts in seesaw.
Ooh, that's
No, not
great.
expert. Ambassador.
Yes,
Season
ambassador.
ambassadors. Good job.
Yes.
Okay, that's good, Daniel. Keep the questions coming. And
Yes, please.
Laffy
Oh,
was also saying ship.
ship it.
So ship
Yes.
it. Yeah, I really think so. I mean, the only thing about Padlet is that there are so many things that still needs to be improved with Padlet,
Yes.
honestly.
Right.
And
And
well, my view about Padlet is that if you're not premium, you can only have three.
yeah, that's
Yes.
true. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It
So
used to be
And
completely free. But
yes,
yes,
and then
uh,
indeed. It used to be.
I did have many Padlets before they started charging for it. So I was able to keep the Padlets I have and then just reuse them over
yes,
time.
Right.
exactly.
That's what I've been
Yes.
using. Yeah. It's really
Right.
great when you're an
Reuse
early
and reuse.
adopter. That's true. So Lahi is cheering us saying, woohoo, CISA ambassadors.
Woohoo, she's ambassadors.
I'm really curious about your condo emergency, Laffy, and why you can't join us today. I wonder what your condo emergency is.
I
Yeah.
it's the
Actually,
internet connection.
probably, or just wish they'd remove the paywall of
Yes.
Padlet. Well,
And I think
actually, go ahead.
no, I think that's one of the reasons why it will work, but only if you can limit it to three.
Yes,
What do you call
three.
that?
Just three
Just
pads, yeah.
the threads. Yeah, three pads, right? So
Yeah.
I think that is the limitation of using Padlet when you hit that paywall. And as
Mm-hmm.
we know, as educators, we earn so much money,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
true.
Yes.
so I think that's one of the limitations of Padlet.
Yeah. So actually, Wuhan was ripping it. Wuhan
Yeah.
was ripping
She's
it.
ripping it because I think she likes the Google Slides more.
Yeah, she said rip it. It's a
Yeah.
bit too
Oh,
word based, written language
Yes.
based to be any use to me. So the homerooms you
right.
can make on Google Slides would be about the only
Yeah.
thing I would want in that package. That's what she said. See, I told
Ooh,
you, people are gonna be
Yes.
judging things.
Yes.
You might
I
Because
think
like
that
it
she's
it.
depends
super.
on your on the use. It
That's
depends on the
true.
use that's applicable for you. Like some teachers, it would be applicable for them. Like my science class, my science
Mm-hmm.
students use it to describe the weather,
Mm-hmm.
their weather observation. So it
Mm-hmm.
worked for them, but for some, it won't work. So it
Mm-hmm.
depends on the kind of activity or the kind
Mm-hmm.
of task that you're asking your students to
Mm-hmm.
accomplish. I think so.
Yeah. Well, for me, I really do enjoy Jamboard now. There's so many things I can do with Jamboard. When I started getting into it and like sinking my teeth into Jamboard, I realized that there are just way too many things that I can do with it that I didn't know was possible. Well, I wish that I actually had the real Jamboard, the real whiteboard, because that's really cool to use. It's
Yes.
really cool with a chalk like pen, because the pen really feels like it's chalk. It's like shaped like a chalk, white like a chalk, and it's just great for writing. And yeah, there's so much great things that you can do with the bigger Jamboard. But I did hear that Jamboard is going to be integrating a lot more features into their web-based version and their Android version. So I like that Lisa was saying, "Love the opposing opinion. Please keep it coming." Yeah,
Yes. We need
that's
it.
actually
Yeah.
even who's this Felicity actually ripped it before we even started because she couldn't join us today. She's doing her masters, but
Mhm.
she did rip Padlet too. She doesn't like it. She said that there's just way too many things that needs to be improved on Padlet. I think 7 years ago when I started using Padlet, or 8 years ago, was it? I don't know how long Padlet has been,
Yes,
but
yes.
I think I started using it around 7 or 8 years ago. It was still really good. Like it was so groundbreaking at that time. But right
I
now, when
agree.
you take a look at the apps now compared to
Yes.
Padlet, it's
Yes.
like they didn't really innovate that much. So I guess
Right.
that's one of the reasons why
Yes.
people would rip it. Okay, so it's 9:50. We have our second question coming up.
Question.
Um, Oh, I didn't put an image here. Our second question is Class Dojo and Google Meet and Zoom. Let me
Ooh.
just, what do you think about
Oh,
this?
no experience. So
Have you ever
abstain.
used, have you ever used
I've
Class
used
Dojo?
But
I've used Class
I
Dojo.
used Class
Yeah.
Dojo
Yes.
for lower
Before
years.
ito.
It's great. Yes. It's I they have their own pros and cons.
Okay.
So
Agree.
if you're using it Class Dojo, if you're using it for early years and developing or building characters, it
Mhm,
helps. The
mhm,
story, the, the values that's
mhm,
embedded in that particular um, part of
Platform.
Class Dojo, that's what
mhm,
Mm.
parents loved about it. There's a class
mhm.
story. You can
Yeah.
connect with parents, you can message with them. So,
Mhm,
but it didn't made it to Philippines because not all schools are open to communicating with parents
mhm.
first um, uh, a reciprocal, so it
Is
always
it,
has to go through with the it
Right.
always
is
has
it
to go through with
problematic?
the secretary. Everything has to be there's parang step one, step two, step three.
There's an
So
SOP
the
for
class
the
dojo,
communication. I
yes,
see.
There's
there's
Okay.
always
an
a
SOP for
procedure.
the communication.
Right.
It's
There's
not
Yes,
as
there's
always a
always a
open.
procedure when
procedure. So
communicating. Right.
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
it didn't work. I've
Okay.
normally I would only be always be the one using it in school. So
Mm-hmm.
like our seesaw, I've been using it for 5 years before the school decided to use it for the school because now
Mm-hmm.
we're in a distance learning and they need a platform for the early years. So they have
Yeah.
to look into seesaw. But
Yeah.
had they used it already or tried it, then teachers
Mm-hmm.
would have had enough training. So now
That's
teachers
true.
are trying to work on the application while trying to
Yeah.
teach the content. So that's the downside of not engaging yourself to technology because someday somehow you are really going to be using in
That's
any
true.
of those technologies.
That's true. I mean, right now though, I shipped Class Dojo
Google Meet.
and Google Meet Zoom primarily because it's a little bit harder to do some behavioral management in an online class versus having
Yes.
being there inside the class with them. And I think having kind of an online tool that allows you to do that would be great. Although if you're using it with Google Classroom, I'm gonna rip it because it doesn't really work. I haven't seen any
Yes.
case study at all that where a Class Dojo user would be using it with Google Classroom and using it effectively. I've not seen any kind of case study that way. But in here, Hulan was actually saying to ship it. Zoom and Class Dojo ship it
Ooh.
because Class Dojo has a
That is
lot
it.
more to it. I know that they
Right.
added so much
Because
more. They
it's
have
student
tutorials
friendly.
now. Yes, it is student friendly, parent
Yes.
friendly, and
Parent
they added so
friendly.
much more stuff to it now. So I think it would be worth a look, especially for the teachers who are watching us right now,
Yes.
who are looking for more apps, say for behavioral
Yes.
management. I do
Absolutely.
disagree with giving negative points, though. I just don't like the whole
Yes.
negative
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I
Me too.
don't
Yes.
agree
Yes.
with
Not
it.
the negative
Right.
points. It has
Yeah.
Yeah.
to always be
Um.
positive.
Yes,
Right.
Lisa.
No, like for me, because I've used it a long time ago, and so
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really checked if how it works now. But with the
Mm-hmm.
positive points, I think if you use it with Zoom or with Google Meet,
Mm-hmm.
and I am an IBPYP teacher, so we have approaches to learning. So you can
Yes.
actually use those to give
Yes.
or give points when you see a student displaying any of the ATL skills. So that would
Mm-hmm.
also be another component to using Class Dojo with Google Meet or
Mhm.
Zoom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's really amazing. Like
What
I
I
think
like
Alafi would
about it,
also be interested in that because Alafi you're also IVP, right? PYP.
I
So
know he's a DP. He's DP, so he's
he's
11 and 12. So I'm
IVP.
on the
Okay.
lower
You're
end.
in the
Yes.
primary. Yeah, you're in the
Yeah.
primary end. Okay.
Yep.
I see.
Yeah.
So there. Sometimes I just get a little confused with but it is confusing. Like Laffy had a
It is.
really difficult time before.
It is.
Laffy
It
said,
is.
can I just rip Zoom and ship meet?
Oh, no, no, no. Zoom is way better than Meet
I don't like Zoom.
for me.
Ooh,
I'm not a Zoom person. It's not because I'm a
proposing.
Google person. I really don't like Zoom because I
No,
feel like I've trained in both. And I think some of the
yes.
things that Zoom added, like in their chat, why are links not clickable? Like these are just like small UI things.
Oh,
Really,
okay.
really
Mary, I
try
have
to.
a question for you.
Yes, go.
So right now, I have a question for you because we're using Gmeet because we're a G Suite
Okay.
school. So
Yeah.
in the Gmeet, the meetings can be turned to visible or not visible. But if students have the link, they can join the link way
Yeah.
back before.
Before.
That's our problem right now. So I'm looking
Yeah.
into there's a parang help support that the admin can turn off the privilege. So we're looking into that because we're having problems already with students getting into the
Joining
meeting
in.
without
Yeah.
a teacher.
That's true. At least
So that's
the new
our
admin controls are gonna take care of that, because the nice thing about
oh okay
Google is that they actually listen to. They've had to improve Google Meet
feedbacks.
so much in during the pandemic, because when you take a look at Google Meet
Yes.
in March and Google Meet now, there are so many things that they added now and so many more things that they'll be adding this quarter. But I think their timeline for adding these features are based on the timeline for opening of classes in the States, which is September.
Yes.
Which is the reason why we are waiting
September.
for them to happen. They've already given a list of the things that you can now do by September. So
Yes.
we just are waiting for that. But right now, for the other parts of the world that have already started their schooling, it's a problem right now. So what they're doing is, yes, visible, not visible. Just make sure you're there before your students are, and and it's actually problematic, and it's been a problem for the last few months for the people who are using Google Meet, and that's the reason why they're using Zoom. But for me, if I'm just looking at it from a one session perspective, like just for this session, comparing it to my Zoom session, um, there are things about Google Meet that I really like better than Zoom. One is when people are joining that are not part of the school, it
Yeah.
becomes
You
Google
cannot.
problematic. Yeah, so that's one. I really would like for it to be more controlled, I guess, on the number of people who can actually join the class. Like if it's locked within the domain, then at least only my students will be able to join. Like something like
Yes. That's
that.
Oh.
what's
That's
happened
why
to
we
us.
were telling Google, hey Google, just take a look at what Zoom has been doing, and then you have so many engineers. Why don't you just copy it? And then they actually did a lot better than that, because security in Google Meet is so much better anyway. There, so
Yes.
uh, Laffy was saying, I
I
like how
like how
you,
Meet is easily integrated with G Suite. Yes, it's
that is
accessible
Agree.
true.
via Google Classroom. So
But I was really
it's amazing.
frustrated with Zoom because I did the Zoom training just a few weeks ago. No, just actually last week with a huge number of people. It was a very difficult to manage training, maybe around 90 to 120 people. And
Oh,
we were doing it on Zoom. And
Right.
the training was on Google Sites. And different things that you can do to make your office and your work and your classes, certification and assessments paperless, or at least to do it online. And while I was doing that, I had so much frustration um, about Zoom.
Zoom.
So I'm like, because I'm not used to it. It's just it was a client preference, so I just had to
Right.
go with what they wanted.
yes.
Okay, it's
Right.
10 o'clock, and we have the next one. Actually, we've got Jamboard and Google Docs. What do you think of this? This is an interesting combination.
I'm going to ship it.
You're gonna ship it. How are you gonna ship it?
Yes. Because
Charge for
um, Jamboard can be embedded and it's like a whiteboard. So I'm trying it this week with my class.
Yeah.
So I'll see if my class are going to ship it as well, or they're going to rip it and they're
Rip
going
it.
to complain to me.
Right.
How are
Right.
you going? The most common challenges that I've encountered is how to use this, because some kids are not technically ready to learn on distance learning. So
Yeah.
rather than I would rather give a week to train students how to navigate and explore certain
Mhm.
apps, LMS, than to start class without having them being prepared how to turn in their work, how
Yeah.
to where to look for the Gmeet link, where to
Mhm.
things like this.
Mhm.
The it easily, if they've known this beforehand,
Mhm.
the class interaction would be
Mhm.
more easy
Smoother.
rather
Yeah.
than during, yeah, smoother, that's the best word, rather
Mhm.
than during class you have to insert all of these little, okay, this is where you find how to
Yeah.
add, okay, if you're using a laptop, if you're using an MLD, so different
That's true.
interfaces you have to deal with. So but with
Agree.
Jamboard and Google Docs,
Yeah.
um let's see if they're going to ship it or rip it after a week.
What do you think, Lisa? I think this is a ship. This was initially a rip it for me because I really couldn't find a way to ship them. Like, how do these two things combine? Yeah,
Right.
but now I'm looking at using Google Classroom to add both Jamboard and Google Docs inside your Google Classroom. So when you assign an assignment in Google Classroom, what happens is you can really make a copy of the Google
Yes,
Docs, right? But you can also make a copy of a Google Jam. So for those of you
Yes.
who have not tried it, you can make a copy of a Google Jam. So you can have a template of a Jamboard and a
yes,
template of the doc, where the doc is the final work and the jam is your
yes,
scratch paper. So I'm thinking like
yes,
Ah.
for visible learning, how do
Right.
you capture that? Because for example, if you're
Right.
teaching math, right? Usually the scratch paper, sometimes it's also good for you to see how they're actually computing. I like
Right.
seeing like
yes.
the scratch
The
paper and
process.
exactly. So if you use Jamboard
Right.
as the process and then docs as the final
Sketchpad.
work. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's gonna
It's
work.
your
I don't know.
sketchpad.
Yeah,
No,
like a
I
sketch.
mean, right. I completely understand because of the tools such as the sticky notes and the drawing tools.
Mhm.
So it's
Yes,
basically you putting your ideas into paper, you know.
Yeah.
So it's putting it virtually out there and then having it organized in Google Docs. However,
Mhm.
a disclaimer, I haven't used them
yes,
together, but I've
Mhm.
used Jamboard during a synchronous lesson. But
Yeah.
please take note, I had a stylus and an iPad. So I was
Mhm.
able to include the iPad, connected it with in the class
Yeah.
in Google Meet, and
Mhm.
then I presented my iPad, and that is my screen. So I just had to turn off the speaker of the iPad, so there's no feedback. And then
Yeah.
I
yes. That's
presented my screen, and that's where I did my live lesson. So
Mm.
that is one way I use Jamboard. Because we, on the other hand, because our school year is a lot different from the Philippines,
Mhm.
I already have experience with online teaching and learning.
Mhm.
So, well, when I say experience, it's exactly what Riza said earlier, thrown into the deep end. And
yes,
And
let's
like,
try,
mhm.
everybody else is like, okay, so let's try this. And then if this doesn't work, let's revamp it. Let's rethink.
Yeah,
And
that's yeah,
that's what it is. You just have to
yeah.
be flexible as a teacher. And so that is
Mhm.
one thing that I tried. It was towards the end of our online school year. So, and I find it like you just have to, exactly what Riza said again. Like you have to
Mhm.
practice it. You have to learn how to use it and teach it to students. How are you going to use this? This
yes.
is how I want you to use it. Like be very explicit on certain expectations when
Exactly,
using Jamboard
Lisa.
and Google Docs. Yeah.
That's
So
right. I
that's
mean,
Yes,
my take.
the nice thing about Jamboard though is that for those students who actually don't know how to draw, I mean, I think I still feel that illustration should be should be taught.
Absolutely.
Like
Yes.
learning how to
Absolutely. It should be a
illustrate
part.
things. But then if you are really not gifted with illustrating things, the nice thing about Jamboard is it has included something called Autodraw, which is the
Yes.
it has Autodraw, which is your
Right.
machine learning drawing tool of Google. So
Agreed.
that means if you scroll something right onto Jamboard, it will
Scroll.
convert your scroll into the the right picture. So sometimes you're scrolling something, it's a pizza. Is it really a pizza? Jamboard will be able to identify that, and
Right.
that's a good thing, for kids to do. Who was saying Jamboard and Google Docs
Flip
sounds
it.
like me taking app, but rip it because I can see what it does. That it's anything I would ever use. I need image manipulators and video. Then I think Jamboard would do well because
If if you like video in video, then that's going to be Seesaw.
Seesaw,
Because
yes, video and video.
you can
Right.
overlap videos now. The
Mm.
new features, it's amazing.
Yeah, I really would like to start. The thing about it is that sometimes I get all of these applications and the whole plethora of applications that you can use, and then it's hard to actually insert it inside an online training that is so time bound because you
Yes,
almost
exactly.
always don't have enough time to actually teach it to the teachers, and they also don't have
Right.
enough
Yes.
time to sit down and do PD with you. So I'm hoping that there would be a better facility for us to share because a lot of the teachers here in the Philippines are not on Twitter. They just so the people who are watching right now, we've got like 7,000 people watching. This is something I learned from Chuck, by the way,
Wow.
from Chuck and Cabo. Whatever the
Yes.
whatever the number of viewers you have, you just expound it and then just multiply it by 100 or something. So for everybody
I
watching
think
right now, be on Twitter.
for
Twitter is
the
a great resource.
yes.
Right.
Like we
Yes,
all
go
are
to
Agree.
on
Twitter and
Twitter.
reach out.
Yeah, we
If you
all
don't
are
know
on.
anything, ask because that's how you'll know, and you have to really explore it. You don't wait for someone to teach it to you
Mhm.
because you'll only learn something if you've immersed yourself into it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Right.
So I'm just
Agree.
gonna respond to Wulwen right now, just to let her know that
Yes,
just heard from Riza that Seesaw is great for video. I
yes,
do like the
because
big Jamboard, like the real Jamboard, because you can actually embed the video there. But I mean,
Right.
your hangouts are happening there. But I don't think it works on your on the Android
Web
app.
version. Mm.
Yeah, I don't think it works on the Android. I hope that they would add that feature very soon. I think they will. I think I saw it in the roadmap and not on NDA too. Okay, so 10:09. I think we have another one coming up, but we're going to discuss it now before it even comes up. Um, it's Pair Deck and Screencastify. So Pair Deck and Screencastify. How do you find Pair Deck and Screencastify, guys?
okay, I I'll go ahead first, Lisa.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I've tried Peer Deck, but it slows down. I've embedded in the Google Slides because it usually works there.
Yeah.
So it slows down the presentation. So if I'm using Peer Deck with Google Meet, my Google Meet hangs, and the presentation it
Mm.
lags. So I think it's because of the internet as well in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So if your internet is not that strong and you're using Peer Deck, um, it slows down your presentation. But if it's going to be Peer Deck and Screencastify, that's going to
Mhm.
ship it because the the images or
Mhm.
the prompts would work well if you screencastify your lesson or your topic. So
Okay. I'm actually thinking about it from a flip point of view. Like I would
yes,
ship it
yes,
if I was flipping.
yes,
Like I would first screencast something, whatever the
yes,
lesson may be, and then I will use Pear Deck for asynchronous
yes.
feedback. Like so, I
That's
could
right.
Formative assessment.
flip it So just
Right.
so it's not being used in my Google Meet. You're right. Sometimes in Google Meet it kind of slows down your meet. But
Right.
it's happened to me as well. So I like it better when I'm giving like an assignment to the kids or to my
But
trainees.
what if we remove all of those hindrances, like our internet connection, and it's just
I think
we
it
just
would
look
work.
at where they can screencastify? What do you think?
I think it
It
would
will
work
ship.
so well. Yeah,
Ship it.
ship it. Yeah,
Yes.
ship it.
Because
Although Daniel was saying Nearpod, I actually was very
Ooh,
near into
nearby.
putting Nearpod into this. I like it that you that you brought
suggested
it up,
it. Yes. Thank
Daniel.
you.
Suggested it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
because Nearpod is amazing. I really
Mm.
think that Nearpod
Yes.
is also an amazing app, and I know that Laffy is watching right now, and he always credits me in introducing him to using Pear Deck, and he's using Pear Deck every time now. So Laffy, if you've not used
Yes.
Nearpod, start using Nearpod. It's also a great app, right? And there's a lot more that you can do with it. I like how the simplicity of Pear Deck though, and that it works so seamlessly with slides.
Yes.
Right.
So
Right. Yes,
yeah.
I agree. Like it's easily embeddable, and you can use it with other apps. Like it's easy to app smash it, and so I
Mhm,
think that is one of the
Yes.
advantages of Peer Deck. So yeah,
mhm.
you I completely agree. However, I am not going to ship it. So
Right.
yeah, because of the limitations that are available,
Yeah.
I am so sorry, Screencastify. I'm not a fan. But if you do have, yeah, I'm so sorry. But if, however, these are the only tools that are available for you, you can make it work. So
Yeah.
again, you
Yes.
know, like this is just my opinion. And as a
Mhm.
teacher, I think it is one of our duties to try things
Yeah. That's
that we
true.
haven't tried
Yes.
before.
I
So
agree.
I think that is
Yeah.
one thing that if there's anything that you're going to take away from this from this live stream is that please try the app,
Yeah.
no
Try
matter
it.
if we rip it. Yeah, even if we
Yes.
rip it,
Just try the
please
apps
try them.
separately or together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Because it
Yes. So
might work
yeah,
for
I
just
you.
try
actually
them.
I'm a fan of Screencast-O-Matic and Loom
Yeah.
Mm, right.
I
So
was a
and Canva right
screencastify. I was a screencastify alpha
now.
user,
So
like
Canva and
before they
Loom.
even started. So I'm like a little loyal to it primarily because of that. Like I'm an alpha user. I was using it before people were using it. Before people were aware of it because I started using the Chromebook very early on. In I think I started using it late 2011, which was a long, long time ago. Before it was available here, and so I was trying to look for a way to screencast, and at that time Loom wasn't available yet. So it was
right.
just Screencastify. It used to be Camtasia that I was using for my screencast,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
Camtasia is amazing. So if you're using a Windows machine or a Mac, then great, you
Yeah,
can use Camtasia.
right,
But on a Chromebook, you need to download
right.
it, you need to install it. So yeah, Camtasia is paid, and even my Screencastify is actually paid because I
Mm-hmm.
can't take the 10-minute limit, and I also don't like those little things. The what do you call those watermarks?
Yes, the watermarks. Yes,
Yeah, so
and the
Yeah.
logo, and the logo. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'd like to
yeah.
do a quick shout out to StreamYard right now because I love StreamYard so much. This is what we're using to do this live stream. That's why we can live stream at the moment, both in YouTube as well in Facebook. But again,
Nice.
if you are
Yes.
using StreamYard and you're using StreamYard free, then that means you get the StreamYard logo. I really like kind of buying because I like supporting these apps. If I could
Yes.
Right.
if I'm using it often, like in this case, I live stream every week. So it's definitely something that I would pay for if I'm getting so much value. But if I'm not really using it that much, just use the free version. Like it works as well anyway. You just have to contend with the watermark. If you don't need the branding,
Agreed.
good, right?
Right,
So
right. That's true.
we
Yeah,
have
like whatever works for you.
yeah, whatever works. That's why Lisa, I
Mm-hmm.
would echo what she said. She said, try it out. It's we because we don't
Yes.
know if it's gonna work for you. Maybe it didn't work for us, but it worked for you. So go ahead. We might
Absolutely.
have yeah, we might have different Oh, this is your chance. I just saw the next question.
Yes.
Oh,
Next
Lisa,
question.
let's
Ma,
hold our, let's hold our, let's hold our
Go.
hearts.
yun yung
Go,
malalim.
Lisa. Take away the mic.
This is, I put it last.
This is
Because
something that
this
we're
is,
passionate about.
yeah, this
Yes,
I put it last
we're
because
passionate.
this is a controversial ship. Will you
Yes.
ship
Indeed.
FIFA and Google Classroom? Because I think it's a rip it for me.
Mm. Go
So I
ahead.
don't know about you guys. I mean, it's a rip it for me
No, go
because
ahead.
I can't see Seesaw is amazing by itself, and Google Classroom is also great by itself. But like putting them together, I cannot see them working together. I can see Seesaw and Google Drive Docs slides in Seesaw working well, but using
Yes.
both Seesaw and Google Classroom, I just don't see it happening. It's not a
Right.
love team for me.
No, no, I completely, that's what I love So for me, I've used both. I've used Seesaw and Google Classroom. I always
Mhm,
think about what do I want my students to do? Do I want to
Yes.
see a
mhm,
visual? Do I
I
want to
agree.
see
mhm.
a recording? And so if that is the case, then I will use Seesaw. If I
Okay.
want them to type up something, a writing piece that they need to type up, then I would use Google Classroom to roll that out. However, I would
Mm,
also use Seesaw for that to announce it and then put the link, the Google Classroom link in
Yes.
Seesaw. So that is how I would use it. Unfortunately, okay, so again, there's always a disclaimer. There's always a limitation. Unfortunately, if you do it the other way around, let's say we use a Seesaw link and then we add that to Google Classroom, it will only show the activity, but then you would
mhm,
have
Yes.
to log in. So once
mhm.
you log in, your feed will come out. It will not directly link you to the activity.
I
So
see.
one of
Yes.
the so that's the thing, you still have to search for it in Seesaw. So one of the
Mhm.
workarounds that I've read from Twitter and from Facebook groups is that
Yeah.
they actually take a screenshot of the Seesaw activity. This is what it looks
Oh,
like. This is the title of the
okay.
activity. And then they put that in Google Classroom. So those are the workarounds that a lot of teachers can use with Seesaw and Google Classroom.
I see.
Yes.
So yeah, I really think right now I'm happy that you were able to kind of describe that in its entirety. I
Mm-hmm.
really have to try that out because again, it
Yes.
will not be Seesaw being embedded into Google Classroom was kind of really iffy for me. I can't really see it
Right.
happening. But yeah,
Yes.
the way that you describe it, you have basically what you're saying is you have to choose your primary classroom management system.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. So you have to
Yes.
choose the
So
primary,
in my
and
case,
then in your case
yes.
it was seesaw. That's your primary, and
Yes.
classroom to supplement, basically. How about you,
Mine
Reese?
it's different. So
Okay.
my main element is Google Classroom, student
Mm-hmm.
submission, and portfolio. It's in Seesaw. So they get to see everything that they work on in Seesaw. All the materials, instructions, they get it from my Google Classroom. So only one place to look for what do they need to do in my class. It's there. All the materials, all the links, it's there. But what I only put in the instruction, respond to the activity in Seesaw. So they know it already that they have to access the activity in the activities button or tab. So they don't need to look anywhere, but only in the activities. I prepare the
Okay.
activities so that they only get to respond to it. So once they are able to respond, they are prompted that you've responded to this activity, and I get a notification that I need to approve
Mhm.
it. And what's good about CISO is that, like for me, I meet on my class once in 2 weeks. So they have the full 2 weeks to work on their task. So if it's in a progress, they just click draft, and then
Mhm.
it goes to me, and then I recheck it. If I want to approve it and if it's okay, then I click approve. If I want to give back a feedback, I send back the work. So there's an
Okay.
option to send
Okay.
back so they can work on it more or improve it. So that's what I like. That's why I'm shipping both,
Mm.
because at first I was not allowed to use Seesaw because they thought I'm going to change my LMS. So I had
Mhm.
to schedule a meeting with my principal. No, you have to let me use Seesaw because that's where my students can see how they're progressing at the start of the school year up to the end of the
Mhm.
term. So if you're just going to let them submit in Google Classroom, that's an individual submission. They don't get to see their progress. So what's the good thing about Google Classroom is it's easy for teacher to check who turned in and who did not. It's the same with CISO, except in CISO, it's both teacher and student friendly because students get to see their progress, teachers get to see their progress once they click on the student's name, on a particular student's name. So
Mm. Fulren is still ripping it.
right
She said
now, and
it's a bit too basic. That's what she said. Beyond primary, so yep, I'm going to have to rip it. Google Classroom isn't what we use either. I'm gonna pass on despair. So that's what
yes,
she said. So
because
he's passing on
I
despair.
think if your students are like her school culture is way different from us. Our kids
Yes.
from first grade to fourth grade didn't have any technological skills to prepare them for fifth grade. Fifth grade is MLD based already, while fourth grade below is not. They're textbook based. So now that
Mhm.
we were launched into distance learning, the fifth grade had to learn it in a distance learning classroom. Unlike last year, we can teach the kids the technical skills face to face. Right now, it's
Okay.
all video
Online.
recording, all infographics, all online. So it's hard. There's a gap on how they understand your
Mhm.
instruction from your own
Mhm.
point of view, from their own point of view. So you have to think through with the two environment, the house and the school, which is way too
Yeah.
different before. You have to fuse them.
Mhm.
So
Okay. That's
that's it
good.
Right.
for me.
That's really good. That's a lot of great information. I just want to give a shout out to Sandra Loveno who's watching right now. Hi Sandra of
Yes.
Ateneo de Manila University.
Insights there.
Very interesting, getting good insights here. So I'm happy that you're
Thank
watching.
you.
Thank
Well, you
Yes.
know,
you.
we
Thank you
do
for
this every
watching.
week. Thank you for watching. We do this every weekend. So I hope that
Padlet.
you will be
Yes.
part of your weekend habit next week. And
Yes.
we've got a bonus
Indeed.
question. We actually are almost ending right
Woohoo!
now. It's 10:23. What is one app you cannot teach without? For me, I really love Google Slides and Bitmoji. I'm a Slides and Bitmoji person.
Oh.
I cannot
But
work
it's
without
just
my
one app. One
Yeah,
One
app.
app
yeah,
only.
I
You
have
said
the
one
One
app
extension.
app
only. You
pairing.
said
Oh, one app. Okay, Slides. Actually, it's so
Google
difficult to
Slides.
choose. Yeah, I would definitely go with slides because slides is something that I use for almost everything. Like even for designing, some people are using
Right.
slides
Yes.
only for presentation, but I'm actually using it for publishing, like as a publishing tool.
Right.
Because
Agree.
if you're great with like layouting, if you already know the basics of how to lay out certain
Yes.
things, you can use slides for
Right.
almost
Yes.
everything.
And then publish it to the web.
Yeah, we're using it for our social
Yes.
media posts.
Amazing.
We're
You
using
know,
it
if
for
you
our
can
social
only
media
teach
posts.
teachers how to make Google Slides, right?
Yeah,
Empowering Google Slides and
that's
publish it to
true.
the web.
Yeah. I actually do
That is
have
so true.
Google Sites, publish it to the web, use it for your Pecha Kucha, right? You when you publish it, you can use it for Pecha Kucha because you can put in your 20-second time limits. And also, I like what I like about Google Sites right now is that it's the one thing that we're using for almost everything right now. So social media posts, even business cards. We're not even designing our
Yes.
business cards anywhere else. We're just using Google Slides for it. So yeah,
Right.
it's
Yes.
very
Right.
versatile. But
And download as PNG.
Agree.
on teaching, if I don't have a site made up or if I am not using Google
PNG. Yeah.
Classroom,
That's
I
true.
can just use slides to actually manage the entire class, even for the entire day. So,
Yes.
what's your one app,
Should
Riza?
I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, Riza.
Okay. So
Wait. No. Somebody with Fabrian is saying, Fabrian Morales. Hi. She's saying
Hello.
that Google Slides for her as well
Yeah. Well,
is the
Fabian,
app.
I don't know Riza. Do you know Fab? Fab used to work with me in
I met
Bluecom.
her, right? Remember? I
Oh
Mm.
met her.
yeah. we met because we
Remember
had
we
that
had
nice
brunch
little we had brunch
last
and
year.
yeah, and you didn't join us for swimming, but she did.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, we met her. I totally right. I forgot about that. Okay, let's go with our bonus app now. What's our bonus app for?
Okay. My bonus one up, because I'm teaching PE and I need to demonstrate the movement, it's going to be Flipgrid. See all the movements.
Oh,
I'm recording
Oh,
grid.
I'm recording all the movements in one grid, and all that's the
That's
landing page
interesting.
for my students. And if they want to learn that particular skill, they just hit my video and it's there, and they can respond to it by clicking the respond to this video, and I get to see how they perform it. So even if I have seesaw, I still want Flipgrid as my one up because it's amazing. You can
Yeah.
put on the instruction
Mm-hmm.
while you're teaching it. So you can put on the particular things like this one. See, I've put in the words on the video
Mm-hmm.
itself. So my instruction is there already. Aside from me demonstrating it, there's a particular words for those, students who need visual cues.
Yeah.
So for
yes,
me, it
that's true.
works the flip grid because I get to demonstrate and they get to respond. So I get, because in a synchronous class, I don't see their full body when they have to move because they're in their learning space inside their houses. They're not outside. So some of them
Mm-hmm.
would tell me, teacher, I don't have space here to do the movements. I'm too
Yeah.
cramped. So I would uh, tell them, okay, during asynchronous, you record this particular movement and then submit, and then I get to
Until
check it. And I can give feedback both via video, comment, or rubric. So I just
do you
choose
get
which of
the?
the two.
I just have a question. Do you get your so you get your time limits in Flipgrid, right? So what's your
There's
time
10
limit?
minutes.
10 minutes.
The longest is 10, but I just
Okay.
limit it to 1 minute and 30 or 2 minutes. So because I have 200 something students, I get to check each one. So I
Okay.
just need to limit their movements to 1 minute 30, including their reflections or whatever challenges or what do they need to improve on for that particular movement.
So Fabian was saying you can be a fitness influencer for children and families. I love it.
Yes,
Agreed. Agreed.
Woo!
okay. And
Somebody's here. Hello,
Mary,
Lisa.
I mean,
That's my husband. That's my husband. So yeah, hi.
yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
Yeah.
fine.
Mary, maybe I can open up a Flipgrid for this Guru Chat learning community, and then
Yeah,
they can put in their
Yes.
questions there. They can
great
put in their questions
idea.
there, or they can just ask us
Fantastic.
anything. So I'm going to create a grid,
Right.
and I'm going to set it to learning community. So everyone can just put in the code, and then our flip code to go to that grid, just type Guru Chat, and they
Yeah,
can
yeah.
access it. So I'm gonna
I
make
love
it right
it.
now while
Yay.
you're
Yay, thanks,
talking.
Rita. Thank you, Rita.
Let's
I love
empower
it.
everyone.
Nice.
So this is
Okay,
gonna
so
last for a
Yeah.
long, long
You,
time, right? So
yes,
this is gonna last for a long time.
yeah.
So every single week that we are gonna be doing the Guru chat, if you can't join or if you have questions prior, then you might want to just record a video of yourself saying that question.
yes,
And that's also a good practice for us teachers right now because especially here in the Philippines, a lot of our teachers are a little shy. They're having a difficult time adjusting to online learning because now they have to put their face in front of a
yes,
camera and talk.
Yes.
And that's really kind of not a Filipino, not very Filipino. I've for a
I
long, long
agree.
time I've been
I agree.
asking my Filipino teachers to do the videos in their mother tongue because we don't have videos in the mother
Right.
tongue.
Oh, that would be
So
great.
yeah,
that
I
was
was
That would
like
be
great.
great.
encouraging teachers to do it. Please record videos in the mother tongue so that YouTube would have better
Okay, it's
resources.
live.
Yes,
So you
yes.
just go
Please put
to
it
Yay.
in. Please put it
Hey,
info
in.
that
Riza. You're awesome.
Lisa,
how do
put
I
it into the
comment it?
Twitter chat.
Oh
Put it
yeah,
into the
okay.
Twitter chat,
In the
and
In the
then
Twitter
Twitter
chat.
chat.
yeah,
Okay,
just put it in the
so
Twitter chat, and then I'm going to be adding that same link onto the blog post that's going to follow after this.
Facebook.
And I'm also
Yes.
going to be
Yeah.
adding it to the YouTube description box. So for those of you watching on YouTube or on Facebook, I'll just be adding it in the description as well um, for future Guru Chat sessions. All right. So we are
Yes.
already well, time's up. It's 10:30 at the moment, and we've had a really amazing discussion today. And we would like to thank everybody who joined us. Although we do have one app you cannot teach without. Lisa didn't answer that question.
Yes.
So
She
Lisa,
needs to
what's your one app?
answer.
Mabilis lang. What's your
My
one
one
app?
app, my one app, which I actually use with Google Slides, but this is my preference. I've been
Mhm.
using it since 2015 or 16, and I've already given my shout out to Canva.
Yeah.
Canva is like my
Yes.
go-to app, and it's like I haven't paid for it at all. And let me
Yeah.
just give a shout out to Melanie Perkins, my guru,
Yes.
because that was it. I just saw Canva evolve into having that paywall, but also having it for free, and you can
Yeah.
still do a lot of things with the free
Well,
app and the free
Canva,
website.
Canva for Education here for the Department of Education teachers is free, I think.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So
It's
that's
free.
the thing. If you use your school email, then I think that will be okay. Like you can use it. It's not a problem. But if you are like if you don't have a from if you don't have a school domain email, like you don't have
Yeah.
access to that kind of resource, then just use it for free, and it's just awesome. I just love it.
Amazing.
Like I've
I
used it.
really
Yeah,
love Canva. Thank you for bringing that up because actually I've been doing I used to use Bunsy actually and Google
Yeah,
Slides
Bansi.
yeah,
for my Twitter chats. But now I've just been using Canva. Everything right now that you see is made
yeah.
on Canva,
Canva.
including the video was made on Canva because the new Canva videos are pretty amazing. I think I posted a video a while ago and oh, nice. Wow, that's a beautiful cat. I'm actually
Yep.
I'm thinking of getting one, but I don't know if I have the emotional bandwidth for it. Yeah, Daniel was saying Wakelet. So Fab was also very much a Canva
Yes,
fan.
Wakelet.
And Daniel is
Yes.
saying Wakelet.
I agree
Maybe
with Wakelet as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wakelet is also great. So Daniel, thank you for giving us that. So with
Right.
this, I would like to thank everybody. If you are more of a podcast person, the audio for this entire live stream will be available on anchor.fm/Guru Chat. So we're available on Spotify, on iTunes, and also in Pocket, all of your favorite podcast apps. I'm just gonna post that right here because some of you guys you don't like to watch and you don't want to do Twitter, but you're good with audio. So if you're more of an audio person, then this is our link to our podcast. It's anchor.fm/Guru Chat. So we'll just be exporting the audio after this, and then you'll be able to listen to it in maybe an hour or two. Okay, so there you go. So thank you very much again for today, and I would like to wish everyone a
Thank
happy weekend.
you.
Right?
Happy
Next
weekend, everybody.
Happy weekend. Thank you. So next week
Happy
we will be
weekend.
doing design thinking for the classroom on August 1st. So we'll start our August right by doing design thinking for the classroom. That will be our topic. It
Thinking.
will be an exciting topic for next week. So I hope you can join us again. Thank you, everybody, and bye bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. See you
Bye.
soon.